Okay, new business. Pups and kindergarten screening. Mrs. Laura Brown will present on the pup screening and kindergarten screening that took place in April, and also as well as the early childhood program. And I see you brought some of your friends along with you. Glad to see you.
They insisted on joining me, and I'm
That's
glad to have them, so
Yes.
that's good.
It's good to see you.
I'm just going to get us going up here. It's really happy to be here. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever, so.
No, we saw you so much that first year and
I
all
know,
the planning,
I know.
and then you went
That's
away.
exactly what I said to Dr. Salas
That's
today. I said,
right.
I feel like I've been here forever, and now I've just disappeared. But it's not because we haven't been busy. I will
believe
assure
you.
you of that. So as we are getting this warmed up and going, I have kind of started with you in chronological order of birth to kindergarten because I was trying to figure out the most natural sequence, and so I just decided to start with our very littles all the way up to what we call in the early childhood world our big kids. So, just kind of depends on what you think is big kids. For us, that means you're 5. So I am starting with our Parents as Teachers program. And for those of you who might want to know, if I can progress this, you'll even be able to see what I'm seeing. You're so good. Back up. We got to go farther. I'm going the wrong way. Now we've got it. Okay. So with our Parents as Teachers program, we see families in the Rolla Public Schools district prenatally all the way to kindergarten age eligible. So by the time some of our kids go to kindergarten, we've been in these homes for 5 or 6 years. Those are 3 of our parent educators right there, Debbie Priestmeyer, Sonia Bush, and Linda Branham. And so those are part of our team who makes this magic happen. We currently have 296 children with 200 families within our Parents as Teachers program. And with that many children, then you can jump right down and see that this year, since the first of school, so since August, we have been in a home visit and completed 1,101 times. So that's always a pretty impressive number to think of. 7, 8, including myself, and I just do a very small number of home visits. 7 ladies do a lot of work in a course of a few months. So 698 of those visits are with high needs families, and those visits can happen every 2 weeks if the family is willing for that opportunity. 877 visits were completed with families prenatal to 3, and some of our parent educators kind of back off at 3 once the kids become ours, and we have eyes on them every day within our preschool program, and that allows us to pick up new families in the community. We have completed 585 screenings this year, ranging all the way from 4 months to 5 years. But more impressive than that, 483 of those screenings happened in the month of April. Yeah. So if we didn't really get out and about much the month of April, it's because we were screening almost every free moment we had. But we enjoy it. It does create long days, and we go to sleep saying the things we say all day long, but we get the job done. So that's a good thing. And we have hosted 15 family group connections within our Parents as Teachers program. Desi always likes us to do 10. I always like to throw that number up there to say that we do what they like and we kind of go above and beyond. Within those group connections, those are some of our favorite pictures. You can see that one young man is loving shaving cream. Not sure his mother loved it as much as he did, but he loved it. That was at Lions Club Park with Messy Play. And this is a fun night because we involve all of our private partners in the community, and they all come out and bring an activity. We take up one whole area of the park, and we get really dirty and gross, and so much so that we clean up with a water hose, and then we bring it home, bring everything back here, and start again. So that's the bottom picture is the community partnership. Green Tree joined us. I think most all of our private partners, and they all just bring a really messy activity. We also are still doing our play groups every Monday and Thursday at the center. So from 10 to 11, our families come in and do gross motor play. We did a snow theme this year at the library. So one evening, we kind of took over the kids' public library and learned all about snow, which this winter they even had some prior knowledge of. So that was a good thing. The gross motor fun Tracy Phoenix works with us at Wyman, and she turns the whole Wyman Elementary gym into everything gross motor, and our kids love it. We did partner with Fourth Dimension this year, a new business in the community, and we spent an hour there. We filled their facility with 97 children, which was a lot of littles, but we had a really good time. And then annually we join with the Child Fatality Board in Phelps County and do Kids Safety Day at Lions Club Park. So that one is coming in the 18th of May, and we always have a school bus there and let the kids kind of experience that school bus theme, talk about school bus safety. That's also when all of the helicopters land. Every first responder is there. There's all kinds of bicycle fun. So that's always one of our really very well attended events. Then that takes us to preschool. So now we are in our current preschool. Just a quick kind of show of what we are looking at right now. So in our PreK classrooms, that's our Monday through Friday program, one of those classrooms at Mark Twain, one of those classrooms at Wyman, and one at Truman. They are full at 12 in the morning session, 12 in the afternoon session. There are 26 kids right now on our waiting list. As you know, they will remain there, and we'll try to keep serving kids the best we can. So we ran into some community issues this year just with some closures of preschools, and that kind of cut our partners down. But we are working with them, and that is looking better for next year. So I'm happy about that. So then we move to Pups screening. So this is recruiting kids who will be our Pups for next year. We screened 149 preschoolers in 2 days, and that is an impressive undertaking of its own. Out of those 149, 44% of those families reported to us that they have not had any prior preschool. So coming to preschool with us will be their first preschool experience. So sorry. Just kind of over the 3 years, this was another kind of exciting thing because I finally had 3 years of numbers of screening. In 2017, our very first year, we screened 104 at that initial screening, up to 126 last year, and up to 149 this year. So news is definitely out in the community. I do have 11 on my callback list right now of families who missed screening who would really love to join our program. So we will screen them as well. Just a little visual for you comparing our dial score. So that's our screening tool that we use of the kids we screened last year based on the kids we screened this year. So the red is the 2019, the blue is 2018. Those are the 3 areas of the dial that we look at, that motor, concepts, and language, and then their total score. So that tells me that we are getting a similar group of kids each year, which is a good thing. If we can just figure out how to get them all in, then we've got this made. So that's even better. Then we move to next year. So now we're looking at where our pre-K classes are for next year. And families have already been notified of placement. They've called me back then and secured either a morning or an afternoon spot. At Mark Twain and Truman, those programs are now full for next year with 12 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon. We have 5 on a wait list for both sessions there. Then at Wyman, so as you know, that's our building that houses 8 of our programs. That square box in the top looks very similar to those last 2. That program is also now full with 4 on the wait list there. And then on the bottom is the breakdown of our peer and our low incidence, that high health needs population that is at Wyman. This year, one very minor change is truly just a scheduling change. As you know, we currently are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday class, no class on Wednesday. We're transitioning next year to a Monday through Thursday. Give us 4 good days in a routine with those kids, and then no class on Friday. I also proposed that to our private partners to make sure that would work well with them, and they were very, very excited. Their numbers are down usually on Friday, so it creates less of an impact on their caseloads. Then the numbers that I have up there for you, those are only our peers. So our early childhood special education kids are in those, and we're currently building classes right now. As you can see, that morning is very popular. Families can drop off as they come to school. We can bus them to their private partner spot, and they can pick them up, when they get off work in the afternoon. The afternoon spots, they will fill. We will add spots to those. I'm confident. Families right now are kind of holding on for a morning spot to open, which traditionally so far they do not. And then we still will remain with that one low incidence class that we do not put peers in, and then a self-contained class. They have peers in the morning, so half of their class will have 4 of our peers. So that kind of allows us to fill as many pre-K spots as we possibly can. So
is that number similar to this year's?
It is. It is. Okay. Yes. It is. We are full with 5 in the afternoon now, but I'm confident we will be most likely before school's out this year. So we have 2 new partners this year, and so they're not confirming spots with families just yet. They're just trying to figure out their caseloads, and so I think once they can secure a spot with a family, then they'll go ahead and join us for the half a day. Okay, so then now we've started with babies. We went to preschool. Now we're going to move to kindergarten. These are the big kids, remember. So just kind of trending numbers for screening. This does include our current preschoolers. So we spent 3 days in April screening kindergarten kids here in this building that are not currently part of our preschool. Our students who are currently in our preschool, we actually took our show on the road, and we went to their schools and screened them there rather than their families having to leave our school and come to our school. So this number right now does include all of our kindergarten kids. It is down a little. I do expect it to continue. We will screen kids as they enroll over the summer. We'll do a May screening and then another July screening to ensure they're all screened before they start kindergarten with us next year. Just kind of so you know how we advertise for screening, social media is a big one. We also put information in all of our medical clinics in the community. We send a note home with Head Start and all of our private partners, and then newsletters. The building administrators use School Messenger just to send out as a reminder that it's coming. We did this year kind of backed up our PreK and our K screenings really close together, knowing that as we have fewer kids coming through kindergarten screening, we may be able to put that all together, and I think we're definitely progressing in that direction. This one is probably the slide I am most excited about, just because ultimately we know this is our ultimate goal. Just kind of our trend of attending a local preschool program. What we want to know is how many of our kids have experienced something before they get to us. In 2017, the first time I checked on this, we were at 62% of our kids. Last year, we were able to go to 70%, which included our preschool program. And this year, 88% of our kids coming into kindergarten will have attended some sort of preschool. So we are getting there at what I would say a very nice rate. And I think if you visit with many kindergarten teachers in our district, you can tell that they will celebrate that number with you also. So that's always a good thing. I always just kind of put this in here just to know the importance of screening. We do use this data to build our classes so that we get a good mix, a good blend of kids. Probably key, and I think my parent educators would tell you the same thing for us, this screening does allow us to refer if we need to. We do find extreme vision delays, extreme hearing delays, speech and language delays, where we don't diagnose, but we can certainly refer, and families are usually very thankful to find those things out before they actually enroll in school. And so that's kind of Within our Parents as Teachers program, that's one of our favorite celebrations, is when we guide parents to resources that maybe they thought they didn't need right away. So, and then it's also just a good time to meet our families. I always tell my ladies this is the first go at the next 14 years of these families' lives. So we've got to get them here. We've got to make it positive. We want them to know that their child is our best interest. And so and that is the beauty of us having the space and letting them actually come onto campus and, letting them have all that together here. So that's exciting. There's some of our magic happening. So we do also in the fall screen in our private preschools in the community. So we screen their very early threes. So the kids who would not be old enough to come to us next year for preschool, we come in and do the screenings. They invite us in, and we always gladly show up. And that one happens to be at Green Tree, and they just find us tables and chairs, and we just take over the gym. So it's always a fun time. This is probably second in my favorite slide of the presentation tonight. So red are our pups. Those are our preschoolers right now. This is the screening results compared to the blue, which are our kindergarten screening kids that we did right here in this building. So we know those kids did not have us for preschool. Those numbers in red, those kids did have us for preschool. And as you can see, magic happens in preschool. So our kids are doing very, very well. Last year when we did this same comparison, it was still a positive growth. This year it is very much more so. We're in year 2 of our preschool curriculum. Our preschool teachers are very confident with the curriculum and really moving forward with that.
Laura,
Yes.
back on that slide. So do you have data to be able to segregate the blue to those students that have not had preschool versus those that went to another preschool?
So the blue out of which ones of those have attended another preschool and no preschool at all?
No preschool. I'm really interested in the no preschool versus the ones that have preschool and
Yes.
what impact the preschool's having on the dial for.
Yes. I can pull that data very easily, and I'll share that with you for sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Whoops. And finally, before I take any questions you have, I just want to just kind of show you one of the fun partnerships. That's one of my favorite parts of this job, is I just get to be friends with everybody, which is very early childhood-like, so that's very helpful too. These are pictures from an Easter egg fun morning. This was the Saturday before Easter, and it was held at Mark Twain. And this was all put on by our early childhood careers kids. So they are juniors and seniors from Rolla and Sending schools, and we had the whole gamut there. They cook breakfast and serve to our families, and then they set up different stations for our kids to do, and then they wrap up the morning with a big giant Easter egg hunt that is always a huge hit. But these kids have been in our preschool classrooms, if they have been with us for 2 years, over 400 hours. So they have relationships with our preschool kids. They ask about them. They want to know where they are. They tell them about their day and those kinds of things. And they took a whole Saturday. We got there at 7 that morning, and I think we left about noon. And they just to watch them interact and to understand that they know about eye contact at this level and open-ended questions and waiting for responses and things like that is pretty fabulous. So, what questions do you have for me?
I'm
Laura,
excited.
Laura,
Yes.
I will ask a question.
Sure.
You said of your 149 pups, 44% did not have previous preschool. How does that compare to the first 2 years?
That's right on.
So that's about what it is.
Yes. And so we ask that question. How I gather that data is we ask that question when they call to enroll for a screening. So we just say, what preschool have you been? The community partnership likes that. They like that data also because they're in private preschool partners, and so we share that with them. And what our trend has been on 3 years is the same. We're seeing about the same number, and then we're just continually being able to climb with our kids that we get enrolled. So
Thanks.
Laura, you may have mentioned this, and I'm sorry if I missed it, but how do you identify the parents as teachers' families?
So our parents as teachers' families are identified by a number of ways. So we do recruit, and we do recruitment at probably our first one every year is the Healthy Baby Fair, which is held at the Eugene Northern, and that's just a ton of child-type initiatives that are in the community, and so we sign up families there. We also sign up just by word of mouth. A lot of our friends, families, my favorite story they always tell me is they go to an apartment complex or something, and before they can get to their car, another family calls them out and says, hey, can you come visit me too? Those kinds of things. We take all of our interest cards into all of our private preschool partners' facilities, so they have them all there to share. And then the center play group is probably one of our biggest recruiting missions, because families hear about us through the center, and so we just always tell them to show up. Just come to play group the first day, and we'll sign you up there. And we get a ton of families from there. Mercy, Phelps Health, and the health department send us probably 3 to 5 families a month that they have shown some kind of interest within their facility, and then we call the families out and set up a visit. We currently are at a waiting list in our Parents as Teachers program, which is the first for us in my 3 years. We have about 17 families that we hope to pick up in August.
Thanks.
The other question I have, and I don't know if it's for you or if it's for Craig and Aaron, but
Okay.
we need to show results at some point in time, or try to figure out how to explain to the community their investment, what results their investment has brought. And so how do we do that with following on as these kids get older? How much has this program benefited them in their learning? So I don't know, but we don't test them till they're third graders, and I don't know if we've got the granular data at that point to tell that here's the kids that didn't have preschool versus the ones that did, and so this is the difference in learning that we see, or
Yeah, we can work on that.
Yeah, we were talking about that, we've talked about it as recently as today, so.
yeah.
If her dissertation wasn't 3/4 of the way done, that would have been a good dissertation title.
Yeah. I don't know if I have 2 in me, but I can always try. But
first
yes.
book.
What's that?
It'd be your first book.
My first book. That's on my bucket list too. So there's always,
Or maybe a documentary.
or maybe a document. See, look, the options are endless. Yes.
Good idea.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
Laura.
a lot.
Good job.